So, what process did you go through in opening up the restaurant?
Well, to be honest with you, this is the second location I looked at. I was going to open up on 89th and Fond du Lac in that little shopping area at the old Gianelli's Pizza, but my fiance told me he didn't feel like I should do that deal. He didn't feel like it was, he didn't know why. And I was at home reading the lease, looking at it. He's like, no, I don't think you should take that deal. And so I listened to him, and I started looking for another location. And God is amazing that I listened to him, because that location I would have had to totally build out from scratch. This location was ready. It already had the equipment in here. It had everything here that I needed to operate, including cash registers.
So, what was the process like, including licensing and inspectors? And
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm relentless when I want something. So, when I opened this location, it actually took me less than 30 days from start to finish. I signed my lease on January the 26th of 2020, and I opened my doors on February the 20th of 2020. But that was because I was constantly calling the alderman, calling the health department every day, like, what's going on? I need my stuff. I'm ready to open. It wasn't just because I sat there and waited on them.
so, can you explain how the process goes? So, you said you called the alderman. So,
Well, when you open a restaurant, this is kind of on the fly because it was 2 years since I opened it. You definitely want to start by letting your alderman know first and foremost that you come in, because you cannot get approval without your alderman's approval. There's a checklist that you go by. First, you have to put your application in, of course. Then you apply for occupancy. Once you get your occupancy permit, the alderman has to approve it. So the best thing to do before you even start the process is go to your alderman and let them know, hey, I want to open a restaurant in your area. This is where it's located. Try to establish a rapport with them before you even do anything, because you will not open without the alderman's approval.
Okay, so the alderman, and then what's the next step after the alderman?
After you talk to the alderman, you want to put your application in. Submit your application with your fees associated with your location. Then you go apply for occupancy. Once you apply for occupancy, you're going to have 3 inspections: electrical, construction, and plumbing. They'll come do their inspections. Once they give you the approval, it's a checklist with the health department. I also, another thing I recommend is that you contact the health department too, and let them come out and see the space that you're thinking about opening. Don't just jump out there. Before I opened any location, I had the health department, the people who would actually approve it, come to the location. This is what I'm trying to do. Let them tell me what they want before I even go through occupancy. You know what I'm saying? That way you crossing all your T's, dotting all your I's before you even go through the process. Because they may tell you, I don't see how you can operate a restaurant here. But you want to do that before you sign a lease. You don't want to jump out, sign this lease like, okay, I'm going to do it, especially if the location hasn't been open. If the location already been open, it shouldn't be no problem opening there for the future. But if it's a blank slate and you want to start it, you definitely want to talk to the health department and have them come in and give you some assessments and see what's needed.
Okay, so aldermen, all of the inspectors, and then how do you go about getting the machinery and?
You gotta have some money. A lot. There's not one piece of equipment that I purchased that was less than $2,000. Nothing. Everything is expensive. So, I was really blessed in a sense where when I opened initially, there was already equipment here that was operating. So I didn't have to initially buy so much equipment, but as time progressed and as our business grew, we had to swap out what he had for what we needed. Because with soul food, you're going to need more ovens, you're going to need a stove top. He didn't have that here. It was a burger place before I opened it.
So you pretty much almost replaced a good majority of things then?
Basically. Not the majority. I would say I added to what he had. As time went on, you see, okay, I can't just operate off this oven and I can only put in 4 pans when I'm cooking 12 pans of dressing at a time. So then I had to invest in a double stack oven, which was almost $10,000. So know that every piece of equipment that you purchase is gonna be some money.